From Radio DePaul, Chicago's college connection.
My father spent 3 years restoring this car. It is his love. It is his passion.
I'm Michael Cera, and human skin is my passion.
I learned to feel things I've never felt before. Love, jealousy, passion for disemboweling.
Look at all the passion on that wall.
Well, jazz flute has always been a small passion of mine.
It's a bathroom. It's not just a bathroom, David. It's a passion project.
My passion project. Destroying someone else's passion project.
This is Passion Project with your host, Peyton Baisden.
Well. What do we have here? I'll tell you what we have. Another fine episode of Passion Project happening here, now, live, in the moment. And if you're listening to this later, this is not live, but you listening to it is live. You're experiencing this for the first time or the second time, depending on how many times you're listening to this episode in particular. And I think you're going to listen to this one a lot because it's bound to be one of the all-time greats. When we started this new season, I really wanted to create possibly the greatest lineup of episodes we've ever seen in the show's history. And that started a few weeks ago with our good friend Ella, and continues today with a very special guest. One of the greatest minds of our time, one of the coolest people on the planet, and somebody I call a dear friend, and now a guest on Passion Project. Hello.
Sorry, I was waiting. Was waiting for this light to turn red. I don't know why.
I don't know if that one does. I think this is the only one that does, because if I try it on the other guys, they don't.
I'm just a person of habit, a person of patterns. Oh my God, I love being described as cool on broadcast media.
It's true.
It's proven. Lee called me cool the other day, and I was like, nah, and got mad. I was like, it didn't compute.
That's why I'm trying to really put that out here and now, and tell our audience of millions that you are cool. So people will start saying that to you.
Thank you so much.
Stream.
And I'm here to talk about my coolest passion. We have other stuff before. I don't say that yet.
Well, if you want to, you are here to talk about your coolest passion.
I'd love to introduce it real quick for those who don't know me. Hi, I'm Audrey Gold. I'm a comedian, and I'm also a collector of so many small figurines. Just all the small figurines you can find.
Every single one.
Mm-hmm.
You have it.
I have them.
And that's why I'm like, I want to delve deep into you, so we can understand what kind of sick and twisted person collects so many small things.
Yeah, I'd be happy to let you find that out. It's scary.
Right. But I'll start you off easy. This is a segment we call the Passion Probe, where I ask you questions, and then if you want, you answer them, and then we learn and we grow.
Okay.
So this first one is all about pets, if you will. On average, would you say, are you a preferrer of cats or dogs?
Dogs. Do you want me to say why?
Yeah, oh, I'd love to know.
Okay, I think every time I'm with a cat, I get territorial because I'm the cat. I love a good dog. I love cuddling with a dog, but every time I'm with a cat, I'm like, you're taking up too much space. And I think it's because I need that space, and I don't like what cats ask for.
Do you think you live in spaces as a cat would?
Yes.
You you're walking around and sit in places, and I don't know what a cat does on the daily. I'll be real.
I enter rooms when I find a desire and leave the second I don't want to be there anymore. And when I'm in my room, I curl into a ball in the corner of my bed as best I can and hide away from other people. I stalk and pray. So you can't. So my pet can't do that.
Right. That's not the vibe.
Yeah.
They're trying to be you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not.
They're coming for my territory.
Exactly.
I'm an alpha cat.
The traditional pack structure of cats.
Of kitties, yeah.
Yes. And you're the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
That is illuminating. That's good to know. Moving down the list, do you have a favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday? Such a great question. On a real level, probably Thanksgiving.
Okay. I think that's a good choice.
Like, I love being with my family. I don't get... I think it's what I assume Christmas feels like.
Mm.
Because it's the only... none of my Jewish holidays... I'm Jewish.
For those who didn't know.
For those who didn't know, my name's Audrey Gold. Hi, I'm Jewish. People aren't... the world doesn't stop for those.
Right.
But it's very nice to have a holiday where both, like, my whole family stops and I'm celebrating. And that's what I like about Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I think it's one of 2 days out of the year that Walmart is closed.
Yes.
So that's how you know.
And my father, a Walmart Rewards member, we had an issue with that this year, but it was okay.
Dang. We worked it out.
We were fine.
That's good.
We were fed.
I'm glad you were able to recover.
Don't worry, our family of 4 still had 3 pies, so...
Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness. Audrey.
What's up?
You have a favorite number?
Number? My favorite digits are 3, 5, and 8.
3, 5, 8.
I don't think I have a favorite, like, number, though.
Okay.
But my favorite, like, digit to shuffle around with.
You play with 3, 5, and 8.
Mm-hmm.
You just like putting them in
8, 3, and 5 in any configuration. I'm like, oh, come on.
538.
Awesome.
385.
Awesome. You got it.
Awesome. Wait, there's the third. What's the third? 3.
I'm dyslexic.
583. 385. 835.
Yeah. Keep rattling off.
I think that's it. Well, how many combinations? You've got 9 different.
Do you have a name for your fans? Sorry.
Oh, okay. So we've talked about this sometimes before. Passionators has been floated.
Okay.
P-Peers has been said a few times.
Okay, P-Peers, if you could just make a quick graphic of all the numbers Peyton's listed.
Yeah. So we know there's got to be like 3 numbers in 3 different spots. That's 9,
that's 9.
Right? So 385, 358, 583, 538.
It might actually be us doing math live on air. It might actually go. There's 3 spots, or does it is it exponential? So it's like 3 cubed?
Because it's like, so
I went to arts high school.
Yeah. I haven't done this okay. So the first number could be any of 3. So that's 1 of 3.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 possibilities. Second number could be 1 of 2. And then the third one's 1 of 1. So does that mean that, because it's the last?
I don't care.
Yeah, me neither.
Frankly, I don't care.
Anyways, 3, 5, and 8. That's how we do.
Those are the best digits.
Yeah.
Period.
Amen.
I like your nails.
Oh, thank you so much. I lost a big chunk of one. For our visual
for the viewers.
For our visual viewers, you get to see that. For the audio listeners, you will never get to experience my nails.
I can describe them.
Yeah.
They're red and shiny. Think of Judy Garland's heel in
What
The
was
Wizard
that
of
movie?
Oz?
I think so, maybe. I don't know. She wore shoes, I think, in other stuff.
You ever heard of The Wizard of Oz?
No.
You gotta get on it.
We
gotta try it.
We were talking about all the cultural touchstones I missed before this, and we got really deep on Hunger Games and how I've never experienced any of that and how it changed your life.
Yeah. Do you want me to talk more about that?
Well, if you like. Okay. Our last question on the Passion Pro for today. It's an exclusive. Audrey, how do you feel about Hunger Games?
Yeah, so how I feel about the Hunger Games is I think Susan Collins is a genius. I think she's very smart. I found out yesterday she went to the same Tisch program that Isha Patty's going to.
Shout out.
So shout out Isha Patty. Shout out Susan Collins. Shout out Tisch.
Tisch, if you're looking to sponsor the show, reach out to me.
Tisch, I never once cared to apply to you. You have given money and taken money from people I both love and hate. So there's value in that. The Hunger Games is a great book. If you haven't read it, read it.
Do you think the movie adaptation also sparked a similar amount of delight, or was there something lost in translation?
It depends on which one you're talking about.
Are some interests? Okay. For first book, it is called The Hunger Games, right?
Yep.
And the first film was called The Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
I think it was a great film to book adaptation. I will say I'm saying that as someone... I haven't reread the book in so long, but I recently reread the second book.
Catching Fire, as compared to its film adaptation.
And I watched that movie dead ass 24 hours ago.
Wow. So you're fresh.
I'm fresh. Incredible film.
Okay.
Literally so good. It's great cinema. I know I should be like, and here's why. And I'm like,
but it's just good.
I keep thinking of reasons and then be like, oh, it's so good in my head. So I can't, like, I'm trying to figure out how to put it into words, but that's how good it is. The camera work is crazy. The acting has, like, no right to be as good as it is. And also, the new book that came out, some are saying is the companion piece to this. If you're, like, if the first trilogy, when I, like, swallow my spit here, if the first trilogy is Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay.
Yes.
This new books that are coming out are like go with them. So it's like
Songbirds and Snakes into Sunrise of the Reaping is the third one? Do we know yet?
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Soon. Do you want to know my theory?
Yeah.
I would gladly love for this to be published. So if I'm right,
yeah. Well, we have proof. Yeah.
I think what Suzanne... Is this funny? Is this, like, funny for people?
I like this.
Great.
We're getting to the root of you as a person.
I think Suzanne Collins, what she's so good at is establishing truths and not having necessarily shown us the origins of those truths yet. And I think that's something that has been a universal truth since the first book that we've actually never seen, is that District 12 always loses. Actually... Every Hunger Games I have on record, District 12 has won. So I think this last book is going to be... I have a theory of which games I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Annie Cressa's games, but it's going to be some Hunger Games where District 12 loses, but we're following a capital mentor. Watching that person for the whole book until they lose.
Okay.
And like through the end of it. And I think that person's either going to be Effie or Plutarch. I'm rooting Effie.
Okay. Awesome.
And when I'm right.
And when that is confirmed.
I'm looking at you. Suzanne Collins, I cracked your code. Do you want to hear something else that's even crazier?
Oh, I'd love to.
Okay. I came here with a different passion, and this is proof that I have so many passions.
Right.
I couldn't sleep a week ago tonight, I think, actually. Because I was thinking about the Hunger Games, and I was reading about Appalachian folk music.
Wonderful.
Which relates to the Hunger Games. Because it's set in Appalachia, and a lot of it follows an Appalachian folk colony called the Covey.
Okay.
Now, I'm just going to give you 3 characters that are important in the Hunger Games. Someone named Maud Ivory.
Okay.
Someone named Lenore Dove.
Okay.
It's theorized Lenore Dove is the daughter of Maud Ivory.
Okay.
Not confirmed.
Theorized.
Both of them definitely belong to the Covey, who are the givers of information.
Right.
So, keep that away. Squirrel that away in your mind.
Back pocket.
Back pocket. Me on a Saturday night doing what cool people do on a Saturday night, read academic articles about Appalachian folk music collection.
Yes.
It's actually very hard to collect Appalachian folk music. Because it's not inherently written down. It's inherently sung. Yet, there's a history of women writing it on their walls and being like, this is the song on the wall, you can't read it, but let's all learn to sing it together. And that's kind of how you even learn to read a little bit.
Okay.
Is with the songs. Is what I heard through reading one of these articles. I read this academic journal. I find out about this very famous Appalachian folk collector named Maud Mavis, I think. Now that's the same name as Maud Ivory.
Yeah.
She was known for collecting Appalachian folk music and giving respect to history specifically of it. Guess what her hometown was called?
Wait, what was the name of the other person?
The other person's name was Lenore Dove.
Is it? But is it Lenore? It's something.
The name of her hometown is Lenore. What? And guess what? One of, because she herself didn't write folk music, but one of her most prominent, the people she wrote down, and copied that information down of, one of the most famous women in her collection, who she didn't meet at first, but she heard first from folk songs. Like, the first she heard about this woman was from a folk song. Maud first heard about this woman. Guess what her name was?
Like Katniss or something?
Her name was Anne Cuffy.
Oh.
Like the Covey.
Wait. It's all connected.
And this is just a random person on a random Saturday night, and I'm like, I'm not having a seizure. This is, like, real. So I think I cracked the code of the Hunger Games with this, like, one collector of stories from historic Appalachia. I think.
You've expanded my mind far beyond what I thought once possible. This is
Thanks.
wild. Yeah. Wow. The invisible strings that connect us all.
The viewer will notice I was staring straight that whole time because I was just thinking so hard. I was like, and Anne Cuffy and I love caring about things so much.
Well, that's why you're such a natural fit for the show.
Yeah.
Because I like to gather passionate people who are fun to talk to.
Thank you.
And you fit both those criteria.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, because that's what I'm like. We were talking earlier. You have limited experience with the radio.
I do, but I have experience with it.
Yes.
I was a child comic at like 12 in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I would be paraded around to radio stations and 2 or 3 times to promote a club that I worked for. And they would be like, do stand up on the radio to no one. So
you did material on the radio.
To no one.
To no one.
To like, there was like one person there being like, okay, 12-year-old talking to me about the preamble. Like, being like, it's so hard with my mommy. That's like what the sets were. Like,
do you still have them? Do you know them?
Do I know my old sets from when I was 12? That's crazy.
I'm just wondering.
I still write in the same Google Doc I've written in since I was 12.
Okay.
So in theory, I could
theoretically, if
scroll
you go back far enough, we could get a taste of this classic material. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything.
I'm trying
this
to
is
see.
Just wildly fascinating to me.
Yeah, I started.
Way back.
Sounds like I wanted to kill myself.
There's
sounds
some
like I was a
gems in here.
13-year-old girl who was thinking about being. I don't understand. This is funny. This I stand by. This 12-year-old saying, "I don't understand the tooth fairy. What? A gremlin is pawning your teeth? Why?" That's funny.
That's good.
Funny at 12.
Wow.
Lemonade stands are the ultimate grift. Vendor's license, no vendor's license, 100% profit.
This is great societal commentary.
I went whitewater rafting with my sleepaway camp, and I was so unfit for the task at hand. I had to hold onto the inner tube of the assistant head of the camp the whole time, and he saved my life, but I spent the whole... That's true. I spent the whole time nagging him to marry his girlfriend. So this, like, actual 38-year-old Jewish man was saving my life because I was too, like, short and fat to steer
the
an
raft
inner tube.
Yeah.
And I, like, had to hold on to him, and I was like, but the girl you're with is waiting for you to propose. She's hungry for it. She's moving to New York with you, and you haven't put on a ring? And I was like 12.
That's good. That's good. This stuff holds up. This stuff holds up.
That's a funny story.
Okay, let's.
This is, I guess we've inadvertently proof I always liked Green Day.
There we go. Yeah. For audio listeners, we currently have a Green Day album displayed because we found it. We don't know what album it is.
No. So proof we're posers.
Yeah, we're not real fans, but that is definitely Billy Joe Armstrong.
And it says Green Day on the side.
It does.
But
Shenanigans.
One of the jokes in here just says Green Day and nothing after it for the listener. This just says Golds and the Gays. Gold is my last name. List of things people have made me write down. Here's what that is. Somebody told me, presumably my mother, write down this show title.
Gold's in the Gaze of the show title.
And my mother, and then I wrote, someone told me to write down this show title. I'm just appeasing them. And I think that was my mother. What a bad year to be 14 is just what I wrote down.
What year was that?
The year I was 14.
What a bad year indeed.
It was a bad year. It was 2016. Trump was president.
Yes, that was when it all went downhill.
Or no, 14. No, I know exactly when I wrote that. 1 year later, I was 13 when Trump was elected. I wrote that during Me Too.
Oh.
It was a really, I will tell you, this comedy podcast, it was a very weird experience being like a adolescent woman actively growing boobs and then being talked about sexual harassment all the time. It was like a very weird experience to be like, I am actively growing into my femininity, and I'm also told that everybody wants to, someone's gonna assault me someday. Thoughts Radio? That was like I remember being like in a lot of turmoil at 14 and being like, it's a hard time to be 14. If I was 16, I would already have my boobs. And if I was 12, I wouldn't have to worry about it yet.
But you were 14 at the specific, this like convergence of so many things.
As like, I was just talking about him.
Green Day or Donald Trump?
Not Green Day. Who was I'm not even gonna, just like as people were getting like canceled for Me Too. Also, I guess the guy who used to take me on the radio got Me Too'd.
Oh.
So that was also it was happening like in the ether, but also the people I did comedy for, that I guess was at the same time as, not me just doing therapy on the radio, that was the same time people found out he was sexually harassing people and his wife, and they owned the theater. So then my children's comedy troupe had to leave. Due to sexual harassment. Wow.
It all comes around.
Is this a comedy, Peyton?
It's all connected. It's first and foremost, this is a show about truth.
Okay.
This is a show about your truth.
Yeah.
And you are doing a phenomenal job.
My truth is a bummer. This is why, for those of you not familiar with my oeuvre, I've done stand-up since I was 12, but I do a lot of writing stand-up for other people and directing other people, and it's because when I tell my stories, they're bummers. Like, when my stories, and I'm like, and then he was a sexual harasser, and I was 14. Like, I'm chill with it. I've come to terms with it. I stopped, but like, I like going through this, though.
Well, this is such a time capsule of like, and to have like just thoughts that you've had since age, like, is wild. Like, it's just so interesting to like go back there and be in that place.
I don't think I've ever truly reread this far back. I always am like, because I can recognize when reading a joke what age I kind of was writing it. And I would just be like, oh, that's too far back whenever I'm spamming my thing for jokes. So I never look that far back.
But now today, we cracked the seal.
Oh my God. I was in a really bad Uber once and I just wrote that all down. Do you know anything about Lee Circle?
No.
In New Orleans, Louisiana, shout out New Orleans.
Shout out.
Who's the Confederate? Lee?
Robert E. Lee.
Robert E. Lee. That's the full name. Robert E. Lee had a circle, and they were like, like, it was just a monument to him. So we took it down when I was like 12, whatever, and then it was just empty for a lot of years. And I was in an Uber with like someone who was driving the wrong way down the street, and then stopped and was like, "Isn't it so sad to see Lee Circle empty?" And I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna kill us! Like, we had so many other things to worry about. And then she was just like, it's such a bummer. I was like, this is the political and economic state of the world right in front of us. It was so she had like a hand brace she was trying to a Kia Cube, baby.
Oh, I love the Cube.
I feel like, maybe this is classist, but I also don't know anything about cars. I feel like if you drive Uber, your car can't be too small. Like, if your car too small, you can't drive Uber. That feels like
That makes sense. In order to successfully Uber, you need to be able to put people in your vehicle.
I need to not feel squished.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying big car all the time.
Right. Of course, we would never say that.
I would never.
Cars of all sizes are important.
Peyton, I would never say that.
Right. And I'm not saying you're saying that.
Thank
I want to
you.
make that very clear.
Yeah. Can I say this on the radio?
Which
that one?
Oh, yeah, we can.
So this is what was in my mind.
Explore that.
Beauty pageant judge pedophile during judging. That is an Always Sunny episode.
Oh.
I now know.
Did you come up with this idea separately?
I thought of that independently.
It was just based off any experience, or you were like, oh, this is an interesting concept? Or it's like, this is my perception of this event?
I think it seemed like the girls I knew in beauty pageants were getting groomed. I was like, there's some comedy in that.
I can pull something out of that.
Now there's something here. I didn't know that many people in beauty pageants. I knew a lot of people who did dance though.
Right. It's a similar vibe, not the same, but like similar of like.
It's the exact same thing. It really is. It's like the same schedule. It's the same outfits. It's the same body image stuff, except one you actually have to know how to dance. That's it.
The other one's just sort of like a vague amorphous talent portion.
Say that again?
Like pageant, like dance, but pageantry just has the talent portion where you do a talent. So they really let you open up and try something else.
Did you ever want to do that when you were a kid?
No. Well, it's 2025. I don't know what the landscape is like. Is there a large male pageant community?
A large. I don't know, but like.
Or is there even? I've been to one pageant.
And proud.
Okay.
Certainly. I also think you were a straight man in theater. Like you can find the people love giving men stuff that women want. Are you kidding me?
Okay. Yes, this is a phenomenon.
You can totally carve out space for yourself. There was a boy on Toddlers and Tiaras with a rat tail, and he would swing it like this. He would swing it like this camera. And oh boy,
did he win?
He won confidence. I don't
remember.
I don't.
You remember him?
I remember him. I remember the 9-year-old boy with a rat tail running around being like, "And I want to win that trophy." And I'm like, "Yeah, you do. Get that trophy." They pretend like it's for college tuition sometimes.
Oh, okay.
It's not. Sometimes it is.
Well, I just went to one, and I remember watching the whole thing, and I'm like, I don't know why we're doing this. It feels very antiquated, but it's weird because it's a very specific thing, and I'm like, it's a fun game to I get that as if you're playing the game to play the game, that makes sense to me. It's like, oh, let me try and do this thing well, this thing well, this thing well, this thing. I appreciate the competition aspect of that. I see that, but also what is, I don't know.
I think I get what you're saying. Ooh, I just burped. I hope that was fun for y'all. How would you design a beauty pageant if I could?
I don't know. Because I do competitive performance all the time. That's something I did a lot. So I understand that.
Debate?
Oh yeah, so much.
They said we can't curse on there.
But I have thoughts about that.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. Anyways, if I were to design it, because I think maybe guys, let's make it into speech and debate. Not actually, but well, actually, the one I watched did, I think, have some sort of public speaking element, but it also felt so hollow because all they were doing is
stupid questions.
Well, it was okay, let me find a cause and talk about it so well so I get the points. And I'm like, there's no real passion for helping farmers in your speech right now. I don't see that from you as a person, Christina.
Christina.
It's okay. You were just saying this so you can win your points from the judges.
Little Ellie, you don't believe any of that. You're talking about food deserts right now.
No, you don't know what that is.
You just said your favorite food was chicken nuggets, huh? I agree. I kind of get what you're saying. Agree. I don't think any change needs to happen. I think that people think they're more harmful than they are. I think it's a little bit of waste of your money, but have fun.
Exactly.
You know what else is a waste of money? Probably your kid playing soccer. There's a lot of waste of money. If time playing weekend, time to fill the weekend. I don't know. I didn't curse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If it enriches your soul, who am I to say no?
I do agree.
Yeah.
Like, I think
that's a solid assessment. It's not as harmful as you may perceive it to be.
I think doing competitive dance, I would guarantee you would come out. I'm not saying, I guess you're judged on your beauty too in beauty pageants. That's literally what they are. But like
Right.
competitive dance,
is
so intrinsically being judged on how you are and how you look and how you move.
Right.
I went to high school with dancers. Like, I've seen very few people get out of that unscathed emotionally.
Right.
And I've seen people leave beauty pageants. They're like, I had a fun time doing my hair. Like,
yeah, I feel like
we had go-go juice.
There's less stakes in a beauty. Like, the people are there because they have dance.
Yeah.
It's like, if I don't do this, I don't know who I am.
They're like, my daddy yelled at my mama because we spent too much money, but you know what? I got a big crown. It was fine. Like, they do not. But I think kids are smart. Like, I think because beauty pageants are such a foreign concept that is so fake, it's hard to read that onto yourself. But dance competitions will like hurt your self-value.
There was no harder working team in my high school than the dance team. It was like obscene.
Yeah.
It was scary. And they got results.
They get results. I cannot dance for a second. I went to high school with dancers, and dancers in the acting program were also dancers.
Oh, like dancers.
Yeah. Because I went to arts high school for acting, but people were dancers.
Right.
In another program too.
Got it.
But then some people in acting program also danced.
Yes, sure.
I did stand up on the side.
Yeah, you had a much cooler side. We've explored your side hustle.
I don't know about cooler.
If there's one thing we get out of this episode is I'm going to convince my audience that you are the coolest person ever.
That's crazy.
That's the real reason I brought you here.
I don't know. I don't think it's cool to spend your teenage years with adults. And that's what I did. Like, I don't think I was in bars actively not getting drunk.
You're like, I'm here to tell these adults jokes.
So I could do monologues at them. Like, I don't know.
That's a very specific skill that you have built. And I think you should be proud of.
I am proud of it. Cool, I don't know if that's the word.
It's the word I would use, and maybe not other people.
I did. Can I talk about getting drunk underage on here? If it's not on DePaul's campus?
Hypothetically, if this happened.
So yeah. I was 14 and doing stand-up, and it was the first time I was at this bar in, I honestly want to say it was like in the 9th ward, which no one knows New Orleans geography here, but like, I was at a bar for the first time doing stand-up, and I won the competition.
You won, okay.
It was like a competition, or I got second place. I didn't win. I got second place in a competition for being funny, and I accidentally got drunk between performing and winning the award because I went like first. And my mom had a drink, and I was like, I'm just gonna steal some sips, and then my dad just kept getting her drinks, and then she was like, I didn't really drink any of that. And I drank like probably like 3 vodka crayons, but I was 14, so I got drunker than I would now, and I don't drink. I probably get very drunk now. And then I was a drunk child, and there's still a picture of that on the internet of me winning the award, going
in second place.
In second place, and then the next week we came back, and they were like, "You can't perform," and I was like, "Why?" I was like, "Why? I'll follow all the rules," and they were like, "You were very." Like, they never said it, but I was always like, they had to have figured out I got drunk at 14 in their bar by accident. So that's still why I don't drink when I perform.
You remembered that loss. What they took from you.
Yeah. They wouldn't let me perform there ever again. I probably could now. They would not recognize me.
Return home.
I actually know someone who has an open mic there.
Okay. This could work out.
First, I'd have to be in New Orleans.
Yeah. Step 1. Okay. We'll create a multi-step plan.
Okay.
Later. Because, Audrey.
Yeah, what's up?
Now's the time. The time to talk figurines.
Yes. Oh my god. Let me pull up the picture. What do I got to say?
What do you have to say? What is this? What do they mean to you? Specifically, the appeal, because you specified tiny like figures.
Mm-hmm.
What do they mean to you?
I think tiny is also somewhat out of necessity in space storage.
Right.
If a figurine were large,
massive,
I would probably still fall in love with it. It's just a matter of acquiring it. What I love about tiny figurines is they have souls. So the thing about tiny figurines are when you look into their eyes, there's a story to be told.
You see the soul trapped inside of somebody once alive, now dead, trapped in this.
Not
small.
Quite. I don't think, but I get what you're going for. I don't think it's like a 1-to-1 like every. I kind of think like. You know how when you're writing a story, I'm getting very ethereal to Paul Radio. I hope that you enjoy this. You know how when like you're writing a sketch, I'm putting this into terms of comedy.
Yes.
And you're beating it out, and you're like, actually, this joke's not right. This joke is right for beat 1, and then it all just kind of falls into place.
Yeah.
That to me is kind of like the soul of a sketch.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at all these tiny figurines,
yes. Oh.
Someone had.
Oh, wow.
Two intentional. This is, sorry, I haven't even zoomed out for him.
Oh, there's more.
This is all figurines.
Wait, that's beautiful.
Somebody had to, all of that is artwork. Like, someone intentionally sculpted it. Someone intentionally painted it. Someone intentionally made it that size. Made it so small. Oh. And, like, I just think, like, they are tiny pieces of art that were only made for the purpose. All of those things were only made for the purpose of just, like, bringing a little joy. And I think that that's, like, beautiful. There's
so many things.
There's
so many, but they're all kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I like how eclectic it is.
Yeah. They have I tend to gravitate towards something that's, like, a little broken.
Wait, okay, I see this little guy. He's a gopher on a pedestal that
says I go for you?
Yeah, I could go for you.
Yes, you do.
I like it. What, does he have a story?
I believe I got from an estate sale. So a lot of these are from estate sales. I got this from an estate sale, I think during COVID, I want to say. The thing with estate sales in New Orleans is full of racist doubloons. Just loaded to the brim with, like, some of the craziest, like, artwork you've ever seen. Like, you see some very uncomfortable images, and then you're like, I go for you. Like,
like the silly gopher.
Like, New Orleans estate sales are full of, like, people who you know made their money off of the blood of other people who are now dead. And now I get to buy their I go for you. And that's why they're haunted. Like, that's why they have so much story. Like, I got a few other things at that estate sale. I want to say that I go for you and that
the little seal
that
guy?
Little seal are brothers and from the same estate sale.
How did you get into estate sale? Like, how does one get into estate sale? I hear about people going to estate sales and I'm interested. I don't know how to find it. Like,
I found some here. There's, like, some systems you can. I haven't gone to too many in Chicago. I almost always do it when I'm home, and then in Chicago I go to antique stores.
Oh yeah.
But in New Orleans, there are, like, signs on the neutral ground that are just like, garage sale. Like, come Sunday through Monday, our house is open, and we will find it. And I'll just be like, okay, we gotta take the time to go. I got into it because my synagogue had an attic sale when I was, Lord knows how, whatever, gosh darn age. And I bought a really creepy clown that I don't think you'll be able to see on here.
He's hiding.
Yeah.
To preserve his creep factor.
He's, like, in the back of this shelf. I bought a really creepy clown, and I bought, this is actually important, and I bought a McNibble.
McNibble.
So that's right here. That's a McNibble. So I bought those two things. A McNibble. Yeah, you don't know what a McNibble is.
I don't. You certainly don't.
And you're about to know what a McNibble is. I'm going to take a step back.
Okay, we're taking a step back.
We're taking a step back, team.
Mhm.
A McNibble is a tiny mouse.
Okay.
A tiny resin mouse in a tiny little box. Those are the rules of the McNibble.
So, small mouse, tiny mouse,
Mm-hmm.
made out of resin, inside of a box.
Inside of a box. The variables that change every time
Mm-hmm.
are the theme of this box
Okay.
and the theme of the McNibble inside the box.
So the resin mouse would have a theme?
Yeah, they are usually connected.
Okay.
So it's like, I have this McNibble. You can't see him, but this is an apple. The box is an apple.
Okay.
And inside the McNibble box is a pie. And under the pie is the McNibble.
Okay.
And the McNibble's an apple farmer.
So, the small mouse, he's like painted to be an apple farmer?
Uh-huh. And he lives inside an apple that says, I think an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
There's so much charm there.
Peyton?
There's so much character.
I have an entire spreadsheet dedicated to McNibbles.
How many McNibbles do you have?
I own 2.
Okay.
I look at and think about the collection of, I think, over 80. Pretty often. I think there's an upcoming BitRig quiz about it.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh,
wow.
This is my spreadsheet.
Where do they come from?
Boyd Bears.
Okay.
So you'll see here. You can scroll. I've categorized them by name of McNibble and theme of box.
Wait. There's a McNibble named Narcissus in a hat box?
Uh-huh.
Like
the names are all puns, Peyton.
What? What? Oh, this is Shades and the Beach Ball?
Oh.
Spark the Fireman? This is...
I have Goldie, too.
This is Maestro and the Piano. Okay.
Maestro and the Piano. I love Maestro and the Piano.
Okay, what? Can you give me the lowdown on Stinky in the Barn?
Oh my God! Somehow you've picked some of my favorites. Stinky in the Barn. Well, barns make you stinky. Frankly, like you got it.
Yes.
Stinky in the Barn is I don't even need to look at the picture of Stinky. I guess you can't see it. Stinky actually has a lot of friends in that barn with him.
Does he?
Stinky has so many other, like, there's like some horses sticking their heads out. Like, there is a party happening in Stinky's barn. You know why he's stinky? Because he's been sweating, dancing all night. Love that for Stinky.
I really also rock with Rake in Leaf Pile.
You've picked a lot of great ones, Peyton. Rake is another beloved. I believe you've picked one of, it's either, I think that's Lainey Keenan's favorite.
Oh, wonderful. That's a good one. What was the Blizzard sounds cool, but then Blizzard's inside the Winter Magic Hat.
Yes.
Like specifically it's magic and winter.
Do you know which it's the I believe it's presumably the hat that gave Frosty life.
Wow. You've opened my eyes to a whole new world.
Also, if you need access to this spreadsheet, it's always expanding. I will be like, I'm so stressed out. Let me just see if I can find more McNibbles.
So they were manufactured.
They're still manufactured
by this company. Are they fairly mass produced, or they're just like no clue? Okay.
No clue.
They seem kind of magic in my eyes.
Yeah.
Like I want to hold one. I want to seek to understand it.
Oh my God. They're so fun. I want to understand them too. I want to understand, I think I want to be them. I think if I could, listen, we all got hardships in our lives. If I could be Spruce McNibble and just live in a holiday basket, I would. 100%. Also, nary a Jewish holiday mentioned. I was like, there's one for graduations, there's one for Valentine's Day, there's one for anniversaries, there's one for holidays. I was like, let's just see if I could find any Hanukkah McNibble.
There's no Hanukkah McNibble?
Of course there's not. And I am fine with it, except for the fact, doesn't that mean I have to make one now?
It does.
I don't know how to deal with resin, but I have to learn.
From what I hear, the McNibble is a fairly amorphous process. You can sort of make it whatever you want it to be, as long as it's a small resin mouse in some kind of box.
There's art design that is
Okay,
very
a
coherent.
visual motif,
Yeah, there's
okay.
a very coherent visual motif. Actually, I'll tell you how I got. Do you want to know how I got on this McNibble train?
I would love to.
I completely forgot about my McNibbles. I only had the apple until about 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was at my parents' storage unit, and there was a McNibble on the ground. And it was not one I recognized. It was not my McNibble by any means. And I could tell that it was an autumn McNibble. So I looked it up because it was holding an acorn. So I looked it up. His name is Alden McNibble. He was for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found there's a visual motif that unites all of these. So then I made this spreadsheet.
This spreadsheet.
I'm sorry. Yep, that's it.
Wow. Okay. What if you, Audrey, were a small resin mouse? What would your box be?
That's such a
What
great
What would your
question.
container be?
Oh my god, Peyton, that's such a good question. My container, I would love maybe like a filing cabinet.
Oh.
But like inside the filing cabinet is like a mouse home.
Right, not
But-
files.
Like it's made out, some of it's made out of files and
Files,
rubber
yeah.
bands, but it's also like I've made this home. And it's a file, it's like outside of using organizational tools, I have ruined them. And now I'm sleeping on like a box of matches.
Wow.
And what would my pun name be, Peyton? Like,
Wait.
what's an office tool?
My first thought was stapler or something like
My thought,
Staples.
I was like, I'm queer, scissor McNibble.
Scissor McNibble. There we go.
This has been such a wholesome episode, and then I make a scissoring joke.
I like that. I like that.
I
That's
kind
good.
of.
But it's your
it's
McNibble,
it's my
so you get
joke.
final say.
Yeah, literally, I can't curse. I was so about to curse. Frick, I can say that.
Yeah, you can.
Frick, pun names, because some of them aren't pun names. My name's Dorma McNibble.
Hell yeah, Dorma.
My name is Dorma McNibble.
In your little filing cabinet.
In my little filing cabinet.
Living a peaceful life.
It'd be so peaceful. I don't even know what office I'd be in. What would your McNibble be?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It's a great question, isn't it?
I'm trying to think of like places I inhabit or like things that I do.
But it's also your vibe. It's not just where you go. Because like no one's ever in a hat, but
you know what?
Magic
That's
one's in a
right.
hat.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Would a microphone be stupid?
No.
I'm talking a lot. And
That'd
I'm
be
talking about
so-
nothing, but I'm talking about a lot.
If you could like open the microphone and then in it was
It's like a Chase Lounge.
a little you
and
McNibble.
me, yeah.
I'd love that.
And there's like it's probably like a really comfy place to sit.
Boyd Bears, if you're watching this, I'm in love with your product. I love your McNibbles so much. Send them to me. Let me work for you.
That usually works on this show.
Has that worked before?
No, but I think this time it just might.
Okay, so you lied. That usually works on this show. Has it worked? No. Okay.
I would say less lied and more instilled hope.
What? No. Usually implies.
That it has it implies something. It doesn't say something explicitly. I'm simply suggesting that it could happen.
It's not a lie
and
of
has
omission. It's a lie of me being stupid.
Did I, perhaps I lied. Perhaps that's the lies in the eye of the beholder, and I've always said that.
I do think that's very much true.
Yeah.
Well, because I honestly don't believe in a lie of omission.
Interesting.
You didn't fucking ask. Sorry. I made it so far.
Would you just consider it a lie then? Or just not, like, if I were to...
No, I don't think you were lying. You didn't tell me. If I asked
Oh,
you...
and I don't tell you something, that's not a lie.
If I ask you to your face and I'm like, are you cheating on me? I'm not dating this man. I'm like, are you cheating on me? And then you said, no. Then you're a scumbag for lying.
Right. But if I say nothing.
But if you say nothing, then you're just a scumbag for cheating.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. Audrey, our time is nigh. Our
Love
time
it.
is now. Before we go, do you have any final closing thoughts?
Thank you for having me. I loved being here. What is the name of this show again?
This is called Passion Project.
Passion Projects fans. It's been such an honor being here and being part of your storied history. You can follow me at Audrey Morgan 358. I was about to say at gmail.com. You can also message me there. And on Instagram. Love y'all.
Yeah, there's so much love in the studio. And that love will not stop. We are slated to be back next week with another fantastic episode. And it's going to be a bit of a game changer, a little bit of a switch up. I don't want to spoil it for the audience, but I will tell you after. So that's what you get for being here. But audience, you need to wait.
Yeah.
Until probably around next Thursday when I make a new graphic.
Love.
Yeah. Speaking of love, love y'all. Like, deeply and personally. And I'll see y'all later on another episode of this show while I contort my body to be able to hit all the buttons I need to.
Here, look at me instead of the way he's
don't look at
body.
Me. Don't look at me.
Zuboo-doo-doo-doo, yabba-da-dow. I was just trying to do something.
That was great. And goodbye.
Goodbye. Yabba-da-dow. I blacked out that whole time. Hope that went well.
I think that went great. Here's the thing.